You are listening to the Everything Goes podcast, coming to you all the way from the City of Angels. My name is Gus, and on this week's episode, Josh and I are discussing the coronavirus. Should I be scared? Should we be getting prepared? Should I get paranoid? Man, shit's going down, guys. So this week's episode, we discuss a little bit different on numbers because it's a pandemic. So the numbers of the infected are always changing. Since it's a pandemic, so that means it's spreading throughout the world. Places like Disneyland, the NBA, college basketball, schools, colleges are being closed. So if you can, guys, stay home, wash your hands, and listen to the podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. So welcome back, Josh, to the Everything Goes podcast. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Recording on a Sunday night. I'm all off. A little sick. It's going to sound a little weird. So what's up, man?
No, just it's that time of the season, so everyone's kind of trying to not get sick or
It's the coronavirus,
stopping coronavirus. That's another one, dude.
It's the coronavirus, man. I'm scared of that shit, dude.
Well, that's what they want you to be, right? That's what the media wants you to feel like, bro. They
What media?
prey to your fear.
Well, the media's not coming out from China because they don't allow them.
Right.
They're censoring all that shit. They won't let the CDC inside. It's tripping, bro.
Right, which I feel, honestly, I think it has more to do with like the global economy and the fact that China is the second biggest economy, only to the U.S. And so I think America, there's a whole,
You think it's a conspiracy?
not necessarily conspiracy, dude, but there's a lot more that plays into government politics than what we think is going on, dude. Like shit. You know,
have you heard this one? That it's a man-made virus, and they couldn't. For some reason, it leaked, and now they're paying the price, I guess, because they can't control it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different conspiracies out there. I heard that one. I heard, yeah. There's a lot of different ones. I can't remember the other ones that I heard, but yeah,
So,
I don't know. It's crazy, man. Wrapping up the whole coronavirus thing, more people died from the flu last year. I think somewhere between 50 and 70,000 people died
really?
from the flu in America alone.
But see, this is what I heard because I was listening to Kevin and Bean again.
Only like 1,800 people have died from the coronavirus, and it's not good. But
that's within a month or something like that.
no, since the beginning of I don't know what this was like a week ago. I don't know what the number's up to now, but even if it's 5,000, listen, it's shitty, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's scary though. I think it's this is the thing. I'm telling you, I was listening to Dr. Drew and he said that the coronavirus, it's a strain. It's a different type of strain. It's a type of strain as SARS, which is basically your common. I don't know if it's a cold, the kind that you get respiratory, but that's a different type of strain.
Right.
That's why it's called the coronavirus strain or whatever.
Right.
But it's part of the SARS family or virus or whatever it is.
Right.
Where here people may have that.
Yeah.
And it's still the SARS virus, but it's a different type of strain. So that's why at one point we've had the coronavirus. He said that's a different type of strain. That's why we're not immune to it no more, to that specific one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big difference. Different type of strain, just like in weed. Different type of weed, different strain.
Yeah. Same family, different. Yeah.
So it's mutated or
Right.
it's been played with. That's where the biological human man-made stuff comes out from.
Yeah, the other thing to take into consideration is the fact that you can get sick from the coronavirus and not die.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah,
So, like, if you're a healthy person, the mortality rate is super, super low. Super low. Like, the only people that are dying from the coronavirus are people with underlying medical conditions. Like if you have a weak heart or if you have medical condition that already debilitates your immune system, and then this shit comes and it adds stress onto that, and you're a goner. So it's like babies and older people.
Oh yeah. Have you seen this? I don't know if you've seen it, but I recently started going through Twitter now. Before I wasn't using Twitter as much.
Yeah.
But now if you press coronavirus on Twitter, there's all these videos coming out from China where they're putting kids in bags and stuff. I don't know if you've seen that video. They're putting kids in. Fuck it. It's horrible, dude. I'm telling you. A bunch of kids in the hospital and they put them in body bags and even the old, like you say, older people.
Wait, these are deceased?
Yeah.
Kids? Oh,
yeah,
shit, yeah.
dude. Because that's what it hits. Kids and the older people.
And the older people, yeah.
So it's bad, man. And you see all these guys in hospitals. They're putting them in warehouses because they can't house them in there because they're in quarantine.
What is up with that? That's really that's crazy, you know? Because on one end, I think like I'm skeptical, right? On one end, I'm skeptical to what the news feeds me. But on the other end, if I go on the other side of that, I think like, well, what's going on? Like they're saying only 1,800, like I said earlier, right? Or 2,000. Let's just say the number's up to 2,000, the official number. But what's going on with these videos? Like with all these people in these body bags? Like, are they a part of that number, or is it happening at a much higher level, but their government is trying to
censor it?
To make it seem like it's less serious than it actually is.
Well, see, that's the problem, because that's why the CDC needs to get in there. And what the CDC does is usually collect data, and then they try to get a antidote or whatever.
Create an antidote, yeah.
But the government won't let them. One, they're communist. Two, they just don't like the U.S. And three, they're censoring everything. Right. Even the first doctor that brought this up, got put in jail because he's the whistleblower, supposedly.
Yeah.
And now he died, and then all these doctors are dying. So supposedly, another thing that the U.S. is saying is that maybe those numbers are not accurate, and it's much higher than they don't have it under control.
Right.
So it's bad. Have you seen those videos out there?
Or maybe they do have it under control. Like China is known, like they want to control their people, right? Like China they do things for you. They don't let you choose. So like I was watching this interview with not Jeff Bezos. There's this other guy. I can't remember his name, but I was watching an interview. He's talking about how China essentially, America is a country that is for the individual. You can come here with nothing and create yourself, create wealth, be someone that you normally wouldn't be in somewhere else. China, you can't do that. China tells you what you're going to be, right? You take a test, and then they tell you what category you fit into and what your profession's going to be. There's parts of China where they control like what days of the week you can actually drive or use your car, because they have like way.
Oh yeah.
They were also controlling how many kids. I think they took that away, but they used to control how many kids. No, I think they
still have it. You have the one child. Yeah. If you have more than that, the government takes it away.
I think if I remember correctly, they recently took it away because it was affecting. They were realizing that it was going to affect their economy because they didn't have enough people or something like that. I could be wrong.
But there's a reason why China had the one, because they got too many people.
Right. But it's been happening so much now because they've had that law for so long.
Yeah.
That they have like a gap of what I remember hearing was essentially they have like a gap of a generation. And so anyways, getting back to the whole coronavirus thing, like, it could also be that China does know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. And they're killing off essentially their population to instill fear into them and continue to control them. So now everyone's in China. I've seen videos where, like, dude, major cities are completely shut down. Like, no one's allowed on the road. No one's out and about. Supermarkets, everyone's covered up. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy.
That's because it's scary. I wouldn't want to be walking around. I'm scared here, and I'm living fucking country and waters away from them.
Yeah. Like the skeptic in me says it's like it's not a big deal. Like why are they trying to put fear into me? But then on the other end, I am open to the idea that I don't see China as a country that doesn't have the ability to figure out a cure. Like, I don't see Chinese people as less smart than the CDC. So the only thing I can think of is like if you said a country like El Salvador, there's some virus going out there, and they're obviously a less developed country, then I can see how someone like the United States, going in there and figuring shit out would work. But fucking China, the second biggest,
their government works different than ours, where they might be smart, but the scientists don't call the shots. It's the military that call the shots.
It's the government,
So,
for sure.
And it's military based. That's why it's a communist it's a communist country because
Yeah.
everything goes through the military. So if the military doesn't feel that it's okay for them to put out this leak or to get help from the outside people,
Yeah.
then they're gonna do what the military says. No matter what the medical people say, hey, we need the help.
Yeah.
Military is gonna say otherwise. Be like, hell no, you're not gonna get any of these people in here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's where they're at right now, because I'm telling you, the CDC wants to go in there and help people. The Red Cross, all that stuff. Government doesn't allow it.
Yeah, dude. It's
a trip, man.
it's crazy.
It's scary.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
scared.
See what I'm. So I just looked it up, and it says the death toll climbs past 2,500. But based on the videos and stuff, you would think that number is a lot higher.
It's
I
scary.
just when I see that number 2,500, I think like shit. Like that's. I mean, listen, 2,500 people is a lot of people, but for the amount of coverage this is getting,
Yeah.
if that number is accurate, it's not a lot of people.
But it's the
That
other
was-
scary part. I've been walking around the hospitals here because I've had doctor visits and stuff.
Mhm.
Everybody in there has mouthpieces or those face
Oh, everybody's
guards.
walking around, yeah.
Everybody, including the receptionist, the people that work in there, because they don't want to be around sick people because they're scared. They're paranoid. I'm paranoid now. Just listening to these guys right here that we had 15 cases out here in Southern California alone. I was like, God damn! They found the closest one now is Santa Clarita. Found a couple in Santa Clarita now.
With the coronavirus?
Yes, the coronavirus that was on that ship. The
Oh,
Princess.
really? Oh, shit.
Remember where they had all those those people quarantined?
Right.
Well, supposedly they were cleared. They came in an airplane, and then they retested them here. And guess what? They had the coronavirus. So
Mhm.
now, this is the outrage, because they were in a normal airplane
Mm-hmm.
coming back from China, whatever,
Right.
with people that were not infected. So
Right.
now, because they were cleared, now everybody that was on that plane could have been
Could
infected.
potentially be infected, right?
So now they're scrambling to get all these people back in and quarantine them, check them out, because now it could be a mass pandemic, or is it pandemic or epidemic? I don't know.
So pandemic is global. I think epidemic is, like local.
So it's even happening. I saw reports Iran, Iraq. They were having the coronavirus people out there. Like, it's come out now that it's spreading, and it's spreading pretty fast, supposedly.
Yeah, dude. It's every time I think of some kind of crazy virus, my all-time favorite zombie apocalyptic movie of all time is World War Z.
Really, you like that one?
Oh, dude, it's the best.
You like that one?
Let me tell you why.
Maybe we should just stick it to this thing right here.
The viruses and stuff.
Yeah,
let's
and let's talk about what would you do on the zombie apocalypse.
all right, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, we're talking. That's basically
Yeah.
what's happening. We're gonna all
Right.
become all zombies and shit.
That's true. let me tell you why World War Z is my favorite apocalyptic movie of all time. The reason that movie is my favorite movie of all time is because the level of realism involved in that movie, I feel, is comparable to what it would actually be like. Like, if the world were to see a virus that, not even the zombie virus, dude, let's stick to the coronavirus,
Yeah.
right? Imagine that this was happening out here, right? Like, yeah, everybody would be quarantined and everything, dude, but Jesus Christ, everyone has a fucking flu. Like, you're just telling me you're kind of getting sick, like other people. Like, what do you do? Like, you just don't get out of your house? How do you like feed your family?
Well, that's gonna happen if it,
Right.
if
Yeah.
it goes, like you said, if it goes global,
Right.
and it has, I think.
So, to me, that movie, zombies aside, is the most, I feel like, the most accurate depiction of what like a virus going out on a global level would actually look like. Like, it would just, the world would go to shit real quick.
So I was watching. I don't know if it's iLegend. You remember iLegend? It starts something like that, where it has stage 1, and it's basically when they're starting to discover
Right? Yeah.
what's going on,
Yeah.
the pandemic.
I Am
People are-
Legend with Will Smith.
So, so people are freaking out right now, and and then stage 2 starts where it's happened, and then now people are just on their own,
Right.
and then shit starts happening. It gets crazy,
Right.
and people start fighting people, and
Right.
right now we're in stage 1.
Yeah, because they said so. kind of
the
like
beginnings.
Yeah, because like in China, it's happened, right? Where
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're not allowed outside of the city.
Oh yeah.
Like they've quarantined the city to try and contain the virus. So yeah, that movie I Am Legend is another of my top favorite movies. Definitely my top 3 because of that. The only thing with that movie was that it was less about the actual virus and more about him, right? And
Surviving.
and him
The
surviving
aftermath,
after.
Yeah, the aftermath.
So versus World War Z is basically like while the shit is happening. Like while stage 1 is happening, basically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, dude, essentially, yeah, I Am Legend was a really good one too.
Going back to the coronavirus, on the lighter side, somebody told me it's not just drinking Coronas if you're Mexican. I mean, which I thought was funny because I have an Asian friend that told me that joke at work. He goes, "Hey man, keep your beers away from me. I don't want to get the coronavirus." And I was like, "Come on, bro, come on." So that's just on the lighter side. But yeah, going back to stage 1, that's where we're at. That's where China's at. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking in white suits. Nobody's allowed to go outside their apartments or homes.
Right.
And people that have restaurants, I mean, their economy is just hitting the shit right now because they're not going out.
Well, that's what I had kind of mentioned earlier, right? So there's like an economic factor, and then there are some conspiracies kind of go into that, which essentially is it's really an attack on their economy, because China's the second greatest power, and they're getting really close to the U.S.
Yeah,
and so now this is messing them up.
it is.
It's messing them up. So
and
who benefits from that? The U.S. Yeah. So the U.S. is completely benefiting on an economic level.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But because they're one of the biggest countries out there, and we do a lot of business with them still, specifically TVs, cars, and stuff like that. Their economy is a big part of our economy, the world economy.
Yeah. Electronics, like Apple right now, they're just, they're short on. Yeah.
So if that country would mess up economy wise, it would affect the whole world. It would affect our economy. Just think about it this way. Even like the Hyundais that come out of there, I think it's Hyundai and Kia. They're having issues. They had to close down their factories, so they're not getting these parts into these manufacturers out here in the United States or anywhere around the country. They're just closed down.
So listen, Apple has factories that have been shut down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a shortage of AirPods. They have a shortage of. They were supposed to come out with a new iPhone or something like that.
I think they still are, but they're gonna have major setbacks. Watch.
Right. So, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on, man.
And then this is where you get the overpriced parts, because now we're like the iPhone. Not everybody's gonna be able to have it now because there's not enough of them. Same thing with the Kias and Hyundais are very cheap cars and they're very good.
Right.
But you stop doing that, you stop bringing them in. Guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? Everything's inflated.
Right.
So it's gonna affect our economy for sure if these guys don't open. I don't know if you've seen that picture on. I saw it on a post. I think it was on Twitter again, because Twitter has a lot of that. Mm-hmm. They're censoring a lot of that shit on Instagram and other Facebook stuff.
Oh, the actual footage?
Yeah. For some reason, I know they're censoring shit like that. So they had this picture of how when before the outbreak came out, they had a picture of China, how it was working. You know how the factories, so it looked all red. And then they have a picture of it now. It's dead. It looks normal because no factories are working. It looks just like it's dead. It's in a shutdown mode, so there's nothing going on in that country. No red. It's just all blue because nothing's happening. Everybody's just quarantined.
Shit. Yeah. Damn.
It's scary.
It is a scary.
Well, think about it this way. Stage 1 here, what would happen, dude?
Well, we wouldn't be outside of LA.
So it's gonna affect our pockets. It's gonna affect how we feed our people. It's gonna affect the people that have guns.
Well, everything, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. Everything.
Because that'll turn to stage 2. And you know that movie that you're talking about, World War Z, it picks up basically stage 2 where everybody's freaking out.
Right.
And everybody's everybody's for their own.
Yeah.
So people with guns are jacking you, or the good ones are the ones kind of getting the people away from you.
Yeah, like survival of the fittest kind of at that point. Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. That's what happens. And that's what's going to happen here if something like that were to happen.
Damn. How does that make you feel? Like, do you feel like you'd be prepared? You're ready to protect your family? if some shit like that goes down.
You have to, because you can't even. Let's go back to this part. We're talking about stage 2. But have you ever seen The Walking Dead?
Yeah, of course.
It's not even the zombies anymore. It's
it's
the people.
Right.
It's the people. It's the people that are gonna fuck you over.
Right.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah, it's like it's humanity, right? Like it's humanity, like essentially losing their humanity for sure. But I think mentally, we would just go into like fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
You would either instinctively just go into protect mode and do what you got to do with your family. But it's fucking crazy to think that shit could get to that. We I think as Americans too, we're very, I don't know if naive is the right word, but we're also very, I don't know, spoiled, or to think that shit never happens on American soil.
We're naive,
like
to believe that the government has our best interest.
Yeah, I mean that. Also, there's a lot of veterans out there, right, that go and serve our country, and they go through experiences, and they they go through shit, and some of them come back, some of them don't, but it's crazy to think that they are the only people nowadays that I feel like maybe have understand what the world is really like, or what living and like life and death is really about.
I think
If that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense, because I think part of the government, what we call black ops, is all about that. It's about defending from outside forces or whatever other countries, and that's what they deal with on an everyday basis. It's either get killed or be killed, or be the one on top, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think what you said, going back to if it was a zombie apocalypse, let's put it that way,
Right.
or how you said it's our government, or human population is so high that they're trying to like wipe us out. I feel that I think if it is, it has to be government based. That's one of the reasons that we were talking about how China doesn't want people in there, because if it is a man-made virus,
Mm-hmm.
and they find the specific,
they might be able to trace it.
yes, and that's what the CDC could. And the one that they need is like the first people that died, or the first infected,
Right.
because that was like the purest. I think I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but
Yeah, that's crazy. That's interesting, because that's the same thing in that movie, World War Z.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's, I'd be really curious to find out what the actual science behind that is. That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
they need to get to I think they call it like the
source or something like
the
that.
source, or the first, just like like the first reported case,
Yeah.
like where the beginning. Yeah.
So let's go back to that movie. You know how you said specifically World War Z was one of your favorite?
Yeah.
I like the umbrella. What is it?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil's good.
What is that? Umbrella? It's not at the Umbrella Academy. For some reason, I was
No,
going to say
no,
Umbrella
no.
Academy, but it's the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah.
So it kind of starts like that. I don't know if you guys ever seen, like I said, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I think the first one's pretty badass.
Yeah, the first one's good. That's when what's her name? The Mia Malkovich, or what's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's on all of them, but
Yeah,
Michelle.
Malkovich. Is it Malkovich?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a weird name, but she's a badass. I think.
Yeah. That's where the opening scene, she's in the shower, right? And she has a ring and she doesn't know what's going on. Or is that the end of the first one?
I think that's the end of the first one. And
okay.
she has a kid, and she's married
Like
to a
the
guy.
right.
And it starts all over.
Yeah.
That's when they're inside,
Yeah.
kind of like the Matrix almost.
Right.
Underneath the waters out in Antarctica, whatever.
Yeah, that was crazy, right? That's like fucking basically like a weapons company that was researching biological warfare.
And that's the thing.
And
every country has one of those.
Right, that's fucking crazy.
United States has them.
Isn't there stories of like Hitler trying to do shit like that, like where he was trying to create zombies and shit?
Yes, there is. But going back to this, now that you brought that up, in war, we are not allowed to throw weapons of biohazard material, whatever that kind of weapon,
Mm-hmm.
bio weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's under the Geneva Convention or something like that.
Right.
That if we go into war, there's war rules,
Right.
and one of them is not to use that type of biological weapon.
Right.
because for some reason I don't know. It's probably the worst one because
Well, it's fucked up. I'd way rather get shot than fucking die, from my skin boiling or I don't know what.
So in World War One, again, Germany was using mustard gas and all those type of gases, which were biological. It could be, it's the worst type of way of dying.
Right.
So during World War II, like you said, there were rumors that they were trying to do stuff like that, amongst many other, amongst them having time travel.
Yeah.
Nazi UFOs. I don't know if you heard that one. No. Big old conspiracies.
Oh, shit.
Big ones. And then, so yeah, I believe that. I believe that every country has some type of biological government or department.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's what the CDC is probably like. To me, the CDC is
the umbrella corporation.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because they got government. I'm pretty sure they got. I don't know what they do, and they might not even tell us. But they have government.
They might have
funding.
branches or something. Yeah.
Like funding.
Well, yeah, they're a government entity.
I really believe that. Then, of course, the government's not gonna tell us all that.
Everything. Right. It's like the Men in Black, right?
No.
It could be.
Right. They exist.
Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time, so because I speak about it like fluently about aliens and shit like that. That one day I'm not home and the Men in Black are knocking on the door and she freaks out. It's because they got into me. We're done.
That's funny.
I believe that. I believe that
crazy,
shit, dude. You don't believe in the Men in Black?
It's tough, man. I don't think that there's enough. I don't think we've gotten quite advanced yet in that area to where we would need something like that. I think that there is things out there. There are things out there. But I don't know that it's to the point where, there's like Men in Black, where they're like we have a fucking space airport,
Okay, yeah. No, I believe that the Men in Black are just government entities that are there. They're the cleanup crew.
Right.
They're the cleanup crew. They come and intimidate you and they tell you what's up. Where now, since this is a pandemic, they can't come and fucking scare us. We're getting scared because of the media. Like you said it earlier. The media,
right.
The media is making it bigger than it is.
Yeah, scare tactics, and that's the thing with us. Also I think to take into consideration is that as human beings, like our minds are created to protect us, right? Like ever since you're a kid, everything like you touch something that's hot, you don't touch it again. Our brain's always trying to protect us, and it's fear based. Yeah. So whenever you, if that's why the news, if you look at the news, if they played happy shit, like all the good shit, I was having a conversation with my wife about this last time because there's this guy that lives out of his car around our neighborhood, and he came over randomly one day. I wasn't home, and knocked on the door and asked her for like oranges, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't open the door. So she's like, okay, I'll leave them in the back. So she goes, gets us some oranges and leaves them on the back and the side. Like over the fence.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that was nice of you. And, she was like, yeah, well, I'm not going to open the door because then, which it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, I don't, but at the time too, I was like, well, I guess for me as a guy, I would have opened the door, but it's easy for me as a guy to say I would open the door. Right. Yeah. Because I never have to worry about shit like that. Yeah. I'm 6 feet tall, like, 190. Like,
really? You're like 5'11". No,
you're tripping, bro.
Okay.
A lot of 5'11" guys say they're 6, but I'm actually 6 without shoes. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I never really had to worry about shit like that. So, anyways, she's like, you hear about this shit on the news all the time. Like this stuff happens all the time. And so my rebuttal to her was going back to the whole fear thing. I was like, sure, this stuff happens, right? Like stuff happens. People, there's bad out there. But the stuff that doesn't happen is that they don't tell us about in the news is how a homeless man came to a woman's house asking for oranges because maybe he was, he couldn't afford any or whatever reason it was. And the woman went and got him oranges and the guy and made his day. And so you don't see that on the news. I was at a Whole Foods maybe about a month ago, and I was just having lunch there, and this lady was like counting change, just like a Hispanic lady. She was counting change, and this white lady comes up to her and gives her, like, I bought her something. I bought her like food or whatever it was. Yeah. Anyways, long story short, you don't hear about the stories of good deeds.
You don't.
You know, and they don't make you feel any happier and cozier, and you don't go to sleep at night all like, you
Scared.
know, all happy and shit. But when they tell you the scary shit, you go to sleep with that shit. You wake up wanting to know about that shit. You read like, what we have to think about is that everything that's being, just like everything we eat, we're feeding and we're absorbing. Everything you eat through your eyes, you see through your eyes when you're scrolling, when you're watching the news, where it's food, and you're taking it in, and your brain is processing it. And so you're either, we're just more prone to being fear-based. That's it.
Going back to my Kevin and Bean, they have, it's called good news because of that. Because the news out there, it's all scary stuff and all bad shit. Because they don't get the ratings if you put the good stuff. And it's usually the good news. If we had any papers left, it'd be in a small corner on top. Because the big news, the bad news would be front page.
Yeah.
So I believe you on that.
And then what happens? Like you hear the bad news. You say this kid was shot in East LA, right? You hear, like, this is just an example. Yeah. Like, man, fuck, people are still getting shot out there. Like, East LA is dangerous. Like, you cannot go. So everybody's like, you can't walk down the street with your kids anymore nowadays. Can you? I mean, really? Like, is there really do you? I don't feel like the valley's any less safe than it was when I was a kid growing up in the valley. But why do I feel that way with my kids? Why do I feel like I wouldn't let my kid just skateboard out in the middle of the day with all his friends on the side, when in reality, has it really gotten more dangerous, or has it just gotten more populous? Like, more populated? It doesn't.
I think it's both. More populated, and I think it's out there more now.
What's out there more? Is the crime out there more, or is the information out there more?
I think the information, social media is a big part of that.
Yeah, because now we're constantly being reminded.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, bro, you didn't walk around with your cell phone, and it wasn't just bad shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, the bad stuff.
I had this conversation with a friend at work, like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like I tell this is what I tell my son all the time, and this is where we're going with this conversation, where I tell my wife, hey, he needs to do boy stuff, because if I hover over him all the time, how is he gonna learn from life experiences?
Yeah.
How is he gonna go on his own to the with his bike to the store, like I did?
Right.
I went on my skateboard, on my bike by myself with my brother.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time I was by myself. I was doing my thing.
Right.
At his age, my son's 9 years old. At 3 years, I used to come from school. In second grade, I used to walk home by myself.
Right.
So, like I said, I don't think nothing's changed. Right. I think the parents have grown up with social media, with watching the news, trying to be more informed. Right. So we're hovering over them. Right. And I think that's one of the big parts of this, because we are doing that to our kids. Right. I don't think the government has anything. I mean, maybe they do, trying to scare us.
But it's based on what we're on all the information that we're taking. And you're right, the government's not directly doing it, but we're constantly being fed this content, and you can control that content. You can control whether or not you see that content. But it's like a cheeseburger, bro. If they put it in front of you, you're not gonna eat it.
It smells good. I'm eating it.
Right. So, again, I like what you said, though. I think it is on us. But it's tough. It's tough because now it's been instilled in us, bro. It's crazy because it wasn't in my parents. My parents didn't. My parents only saw the news, only got the bad news when they would get home and watch TV for an hour. Yeah. Now it's non-fucking stop. But just you go on YouTube, bad news. Yeah. Coronavirus videos on YouTube all fucking day. All day, bro. Everybody's walking around with masks because all day you can just see about the fucking coronavirus. Yeah. Before you just got home and saw
that was it, right?
And you just saw coronavirus for an hour. Like, okay, fuck it.
Somebody told me that we had a pen something like this similar when it was, I don't know, it was anthrax or the SARS. Right. A couple years back. It was very similar. Very similar. Right. Where was the pandemic then? Right. Do you even remember it?
Yeah. It was wasn't there one in Mexico? I don't know if that was the one.
That was another one. That was like the mad cow disease and the chicken one that was coming out of over there. I don't know what it was called. Right. So the mad cow, yes, I think it's a scare tactic, but also I believe that it has some truth to it though. Right. They're trying to get the information out there, so it kind of works both ways. It's scaring us. They get the news, and they're informing us. But did you feel
Yeah.
scared back then, though? Just think about it. I think I feel more scared now than before.
For sure. But what do you have now?
Our phones.
What do you have more of now than you did before?
Our phones.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, now that you mentioned that, I wasn't even going on Twitter, and I started going on Twitter last week, and now I feel more scared.
Yeah.
All the fucking shit I was looking at. I was like, holy shit, this shit's bigger than I thought.
That's exactly my point, bro.
Because I saw videos of fools being put in body bags and putting them in trucks and then burning their bodies. They were burning their bodies. Mass graves, mass burns. I saw a picture of a video of where this one guy's picking up cell phones, like hundreds of them, of the people that were in those hospitals.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
I was like, holy shit, this is bad. I think I got scared.
Yeah, that's why I don't know I don't know enough about it. All I know is like the numbers. I Google the numbers. I don't Google the videos and shit or whatever it is, because I know that it's gonna play to my nature.
Yeah.
And my nature, the way I'm just genetically created, is survival.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see that and I'm gonna be like, no, fuck that. I want to survive. So I'm gonna put whatever I can, or I'm gonna do whatever I can to not do that, right? And so I'm walking around my whole day. I'm gonna be like, fuck, virus, protection, safe. You know.
You know what's weird about that? People that get infected and survive, they don't hold you. I mean, some of them they hold because they want your blood, because they want to see how it worked, how you got immune to it. Right. Because what happens? So a virus comes, affects you, but if you're not immune to it at that moment, you're gonna get fucked up.
Right.
That's how we build immunity. Once it's in you, and if your body has conquered it, it's like whatever. You could have it again and nothing ever happened. But just like the Black Plague, we don't have those immune defenses up. Right. We're gonna die.
Yeah. So
we're gonna die, and I think that's one of the reasons. Because I was reading this. This article. I don't know what it was. I don't remember where I saw it, but it was about people not vaccinating their kids and how, well, now that the coronavirus is out there, I mean, you fucking basically better live in a cabin or somewhere up there. Right. They're man-made viruses.
Well, supposedly this one's an animal one. The conspiracy says that it's not, but it supposedly it's an animal one. It started in a fucking fish market or something.
Oh yeah, because in China they have their meats out hanging.
Right.
So I don't know. I saw a different one where it said that it started with snakes, because they eat snakes out there. Have you heard that?
It's wild. I haven't heard that one. No.
Yeah, it started. Yeah, well, because their meat markets, they sell dog, they sell cats, they sell all this shit out there, bro. And they sell snakes to eat. So I guess, and different type of animals. They eat everything, bro, out there. Like what we see taboo, what we wouldn't eat here, they eat out there.
Right. Like we make fun of, like when you go to TJU, did you have dog tacos? You know, but they eat dog in those places.
They do.
In Vietnam, they eat cats.
Yeah. The Filipinos, they eat dog, and it's their part of their culture. Yeah. That's their culture. They even have a whole week or 2 weeks that they get prepared for this massive feast out in China, and you are not allowed to take your phones and videotape them at all, because they're getting this big old backlash.
Right.
So if you're an American and they see you, you kind of get the eyes. They're like, oh man, hopefully this guy's, because you're not welcome usually.
Activist.
Yeah. Because that's been happening. Yeah. That's been happening. These are the guys that go in there and then get the videos, and these people get mad at them because now they're being frowned upon. But going back to what I was saying about our bodies getting immune to that. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't expose your kid to a certain virus, and this is the big thing about these people that don't get vaccinated.
Yeah. He doesn't build the defenses for it.
Yeah, he doesn't build it. Yeah. We're not in a natural environment anymore. We're not. That's the big thing about people like, oh, don't get your kids vaccinated. Right. We don't live in that era. We don't live back in when it was nice and pure and clean.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have my own theory on vaccinations, but I think there's some things that we need vaccinations for, and I think like when you're young, it's important because, like you said, your body builds its defenses, right? So when you're older, you're, whatever. But there's certain things that I feel like we don't need anymore because it doesn't exist. And then if something like the coronavirus comes anyways, it's like, well, what the fuck? There's no vaccination for it. So
see, that's the other problem.
We build any immunity to it. So what are we getting vaccinated for? We're getting vaccinated for rabies? Well, not rabies. What do we get vaccinated as kids
for? The big one, we get measles. The measles.
Right.
And
like, how would we contract the measles nowadays if I didn't give my kid the measles?
Well, somebody else could give it to him. This is the thing.
That's what I'm saying,
Sometimes
but like somebody else who, I mean, and maybe we, this is a better question for like somebody in like the medical field and stuff, but like somebody else, but if somebody else, like who, like how does a virus originate?
a lot of viruses originate through animals because
Like rodents and shit carry the rabies.
Yeah, because they're immune to a lot of that shit.
Right.
And the fact that we're around them so much,
Right.
or we eat meat when we're not supposed to eat meat.
Right.
You said that there was a big one. It was the Ebola virus.
Yeah.
The Ebola virus was big. And why? Because they were eating bad meat from bats. Because they Africans in that area were eating bat. And that's where like a rat, a bat is like this big rat. They're carriers of the virus, but they're immune to it themselves.
Yeah, that is West African Ebola virus.
Yeah. Same thing with the AIDS virus. Chimps are carriers.
Chimps carry AIDS, really?
Yeah, they carry it.
So this is crazy, right? So like the Ebola virus actually killed, let's see, more than 21 months from the first confirmed case which was recorded on March 23rd, 2014. It has a total of 11,315 people that died from it. 6 countries: Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, the U.S., and Mali.
Majority of them is Africa.
So 11,300 people 300 people died from it. And unless the government's, the Chinese government is lying about the numbers of the people that are dying in China.
And it's horrible what's happening in China, man. I'm telling you, that one hospital in Wuhan, I think that's what, Wuhan Hospital, it got overwhelmed. So what they started doing, they started putting a lot of these people that were in bed, they started shipping them out to these factories. And I saw this video again. So they put them in quarantine, and they put many people in there. So they put this big warehouse, and what they do, they lock it up, bro. From top to bottom, they're quarantining there, all around the facility. They board it up, and they board up the front door, and then they tell them, "We'll see you in 14 days. Whoever survives, and whoever doesn't, we'll just get you out of here."
Shit.
And that's what's happening, because there's so many of them. They don't have room for them.
Shit, I guess it's spreading, dude. It says the latest, right? This is from, I don't know, what is this? Bloomberg News. China will let non-local residents leave Wuhan. Virus update. China's easing some restrictions in Wuhan, even as a deadly novel coronavirus spreads further in Asia and parts of Europe. There's like confirmed reports of it now spreading to Europe. The situation in Europe is also heightened following a weekend that saw Austria halt a train from Italy and concerned the 2 infected passengers on board. Wuhan allows non-local residents to leave the city. Latest Chinese province to lower emergency level to send 1,000 hospital beds to virus-hit city. Yeah, man, it's
Let me read this real quick with the coronavirus. It says, I think that's what it's called. It says, Chinese have detected the outbreak of the coronavirus, now called the COVID-19. It says COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the same family as the SARS virus. It's a new disease, and that's the one we were talking about earlier.
Right.
The death toll from the virus is now more than 2,200. Something similar. Every place you look at, it's going to be different numbers. And it says the latest on the coronavirus cases tops 76,000.
What is it? The outbreak on what was the last thing you said?
The coronavirus? It says cases top 76,000. That's
that's what I'm looking at too. It's saying the
total
cases of people who have it. Yeah, 70. I have the same, like a similar number, 79,000 cases, but only 2,600 deaths.
So it's
how many deaths do you have?
God, I don't have. I mean, I would have to freaking read the whole article, but
it's all good. It's all good.
It's a bad one. It's a bad one. Where this one affects. I told you we were talking about how it affects our system. Mm-hmm. A lot of it, and it's airborne. That's the problem too. It's airborne.
Yeah, it's like the flu, right?
Yeah.
So you can fucking cough, sneeze.
Yeah.
Like you touch something, I touch, and then I rub my face, or whatever. So
it's like the common cold.
Right.
Airborne. That's why a lot of people are walking around with their mask on.
Right.
But it affects us through the airways, I think. so it closes. We get pneumonia. So it affects our lungs. Or
Right.
I forget what. I'm not a doctor or a nurse, whatever, but I don't know what that's called. Nasal. I don't know if it's a nasal infection kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe they just
Respiratory.
respiratory system.
I think it's a respiratory system. That's where it starts, and then you can't breathe, and you get all these fucking shit going on. You get the fevers, and you get pneumonia, and all that shit. And that's why people die.
Yeah, so let's see. Initial symptoms: fever, headache, muscle pain, and chills. Later, a person may experience internal bleeding resulting in vomiting or coughing blood. Fuck. That's pretty sick. That's crazy.
Now, the Ebola virus, if you remember, you would bleed to death from the inside out. Do you remember that?
No.
That's why they had pictures of people with the people that were dying and they had the disease.
Here's the thing. I've never worried about any of this, and I'm still alive. All this kind of ties into, I feel like, this is my personal opinion on just fear, and obviously this is health, but I feel like it can also apply to every other area of our life. Well, first, let me ask you. I'll start off by this. Do you feel like fear, and then for the listeners, right? Like I want to know what everybody's thought about being scared about something is. Like, do you feel like it serves you well? Do you feel like you are safer as a result of your fear? Do you feel, like it does you any good?
Is that a question for me or for the other people?
Well, I guess for the people too, they could answer. But I'm curious about your your opinion too. Yeah,
I'm aware of it, so it got me on pins and needles, as people say.
Yeah.
So I'm there.
Right.
I'm there, very aware or paranoid almost now.
You know what's interesting about that is that I feel like, and this is what I was going to tie it into that. I appreciate your response, by the way, is that I feel like that's how 99% of the population operate. And I feel like that's how 99% of us operate in everything that we do in our lives. So when I say the 99%, we think of so this is going to carry over into something else, right? But like the top 1% of people that kill it in business or that kill it in other areas of their life, they don't let that fear that the other 99% of people experience stop them and or quote unquote protect them.
So this is what happens when fear fits in. Because
it holds everybody back. Yeah, when it sits in, yeah.
So when fear sits in, this is what's going to happen. This is where I'm at right now. So imagine fucking hundreds of people being paranoid now.
Right.
So what's the first thing they do? Survival of the fittest. Where do they go? The markets. They rush the fucking markets, get all the water, get all the food. And now people that are late to this fucking feeling, you're asked out now because there's no water, there's no food.
Right.
And this is where all the shit starts.
Right.
This is where the outbreak starts.
Yeah.
This is the survival of the fittest, all meant for itself.
Yeah, but if the shit never pops off, you wasted all this time, energy, and money, like not living your life, preparing for something that never happened. Meanwhile, the people that didn't accomplished or continued on enjoying their life. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it carries over. It's two different perspectives, right? Like, I get your perspective. Like, it's safe. It's meant to protect you. So you go, you prepare, perfect. But then, I question myself. I question that too. I question I wonder.
But what
does
if
the president, I guarantee you, is not worried about this shit.
Fuck no, he has his own bunker.
Why? Because he's killing it. No, not because he knows that he's in health, but I just feel like because he's just. And right now, I said the president, just like the president, not really thinking who the president is and
who's the president.
But I'm just it could be any president, right? Like his agenda's so busy, just like fucking Jeff Bezos, right? Like that dude's not sitting around wondering like, fuck, I need to order. I can't go to like my company, like shit, so many people, I can't, no, he's just like, what, fuck it. If it happens, fuck it.
But then again, he's a little older,
the world's gonna go to shit.
He's a little older. We still have a couple, about 30, 40 years to get to where he's at.
Right.
So I hopefully we still have a lot of life here.
Oh yeah.
So
that's true. That's another good point. I guess if you're older in life.
I mean, when you're older in life, you see the world different.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the older people are dying, man. It sucks, but you know, a lot of the younger kids. I mean, that's what hit me the worst. It's what hits me the worst all the time when I see pictures of kids being light up like that.
Right.
Because I'm a parent, so that's where it hits home, man.
Yeah, it's
so that's it. I feel like I could survive it if I were to get it.
Right.
We're in the United States, so I feel we could survive a lot of things, but then again, we can't. And then I think about my kids and all that shit. So that's where I get paranoid. So that's where stage 2 comes in. So we're in this fucking pandemic. Everybody's fucking tripping out. What happens now? Do you get a weapon?
Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, you would need a weapon for sure. You need a weapon to defend yourself, defend your family.
This is what Dupree said last time about he was fucking talking shit again. But in the case of the zombie apocalypse, what would be the first weapon of choice?
I don't recall his answer, but I feel like he said something along the lines of like, you know, like the smallest caliber bullet, like a 9mm, because like, you know, those bullets are more common, and then also like a very reliable gun or shotgun rifle. I don't know. For me, I think it'd be a shotgun.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen enough of these movies that I'm ready. First,
a samurai sword.
Well, that yeah, Walking Dead. Right, so we need one. I need a samurai swords.
Right.
I need a wooden bat with a bunch of
the spike. Oh, calm down, Neil. Calm down.
Spikes all over.
Right.
And lastly, some type of weapon, more like a revolver, and a brown hat. Why are you laughing? You know who I'm talking about?
That's good. Yeah. Oh shit.
Revolver with a brown hat with the sheriff thingy here. Because this is what happens. I think if you have a gun, you try to leave the guns for the living people, because those are the ones that are coming for you.
Right.
Now, if you're trying to save your guns and kill the coronavirus guy over here before he coughs on you, you're gonna.
I should be laughing at that shit.
You're gonna try to hit him with the
1-2,
right?
With the old 1-2,
with the 1-2 combo, eh? The 1-2 combo.
It's a baseball bat,
right?
Stun him. The samurai sword.
There it is. Shit, you don't want to get too close. I mean, with the swords, I mean, you could still be a little bit away.
Right.
Sit there with the bat. The only bad thing is too much blood. It'll spill up on you.
Yeah, you gotta have like a.
You'd be walking around with a white
level
suit.
3 hazmat suit. Yeah.
Like we did back at work. Did you ever wear those things?
Yeah, those Tyvek suits or whatever.
Whenever I see those people wearing those, damn, aren't they sweating balls in there?
Yeah, dude, those things were terrible.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Fucking, you lost at least 10 pounds of water weight that same day we were wearing those shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because, I mean...
Yeah, these guys are like full masks, you know, filtration system, and they're...
Oh, well, maybe that's what keeps them cool. It's kind of like AC inside.
No, I don't think they have like a air system. And maybe if they have tanks, maybe they have air running through them, but... No, otherwise, no. It's just, hell no, they're probably hot as balls.
Okay, so the white ones, they don't have that. Because I've seen white ones and I see the yellow ones with like this big old tank on the back.
Oh, so they probably have like oxygen.
Okay, you see? So that's what probably keeps them cool. But otherwise, they'd be losing 100 pounds by the week, bro.
Yeah, dude. Those things are serious.
So if it turns out to be a mass pandemic over here.
Pandemic, yeah.
What happens now? What happens here?
The world it would just go to shit, wouldn't it?
It would.
Like it would go to shit. That's the bottom line.
Look,
people don't know how to do shit out here. The Mexicans would probably survive the longest for sure. The Latinos. I said Mexicans because LA, there's just, you know, a lot of us.
Really? I think we would be the first ones to go just because we live in big cities.
Well, yeah, the big city would definitely suffer the most amount of loss, right? Yeah. Immediately. But I mean, within the city, the people that would survive the longest, I feel like, would be people from the South, and then or people that are from the country.
Maybe because they're secluded.
And people, no, people that were raised there. So like in the city, because when you understand how to live off the land. Like even here, like, you know, like your grandma, maybe she grew up back in El Salvador, but she knows how to kill a fucking chicken. Yeah. Like she knows how to keep a plant alive. Do you know how to keep a plant alive?
Add water, homie. You said plant, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you fucking water and some sun, eh?
Yeah, like, do you know how to cook a chicken? Kill a chicken?
Yeah. Oh, no. You snap the neck first.
Right. And then what?
And then you chop the head off. But even then, it still twitches and it'll run around. I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Have you ever heard the expression, you run around like chicken out of the head?
Right. Yeah, so it's it's a process to everything, dude. People take in an apocalypse, people wouldn't know what the fuck. Like
The majority of the people
don't know where the fuck the meat from your burger comes from. Like, as an American, if you went out and cut a cow, like killed a cow, like go out and kill the cow, you would respect your food and what you eat a lot more.
Oh yeah,
I
believe that.
Than we do, because we eat meat like 3 times a day out here. It's fucking ridiculous.
I believe that.
But anyway, yeah, it would just all go to shit.
That's why PETA puts those videos out there, because it's harder to see what we put in our.
It's crazy. Listen, I think I've said this in another episode. If you go to other countries, and I'm not gonna speak for Mexico, but like Central America, dude, they don't eat meat 3 times a day. They don't even eat meat. Maybe they'll eat meat 3 times a week. Maybe.
Yeah, I believe that. Maybe once a week. Maybe once a week if you're poor, because they get a lot of their nutrients with the beans. That's why we.
Yeah.
For real.
You eat a lot of beans. You eat a lot of corn.
A lot of rice.
A lot of cheese. From the cow. Yeah. You don't actually kill a cow. Every week, because the cow can feed you for a very long time. Yeah. But the whole point of that is the fact that we wouldn't even know where to begin, bro.
I think it's changed now. I think in some of those countries where meat is a lot more, it's not a delicate anymore. I think it just maybe like if you're poor, you don't eat as much meat.
Right.
But in the past,
it was.
You would eat. You would eat a good meal maybe once a week, maybe twice.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the case now, because if you notice, if you go to Mexico, burritos, tacos everywhere.
Oh, dude, it's meat 3 times a day out there. I go to TJ, it's like breakfast birria, lunch tacos, and then dinner
fish tacos.
Fish. Yeah. It's like meat every.
I like it crispy.
What, your fish tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to diseases, why does it always happen where it's the dirtiest, where there's a lot of animal?
Well, that's the thing, farms. Dude. Sanitation. Sanitation is huge. Bacteria grows where it's from dirtiness, dude. It's simple. It's just a, like a sanitation issue. Keep shit sanitized. Wash your hands. That's why we have so many regulations and laws over here for restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Like cross contamination, or the meat has to be cooked to a certain temperature. Yeah. This and this and that. You
gotta have it clean, no roaches, none of that shit.
You gotta have it refrigerated, dude, for X amount of time. I think
that's one of the biggest gripes of restaurants with all these new pop-up taco stands and food stands around the LA area now. I don't know. You could go down here, we could find one.
Right.
That's the big thing, because they're not being regulated. So you don't unlike a restaurant, how they have their grade.
Right.
If you go down here to the taco place down here,
right, nobody's regulating them.
Right.
Right.
It's up to you. If you get the coronavirus and you get the shitters, it's because somebody over there was not clean.
Yeah, dude. I've been to a couple of these places in the past. I've had to walk away from some of them because hygiene, dude. Hygiene is another big one, right? Like, I will not eat something from a place that the person doesn't look like they have good hygiene, bro. Like, if the guy, I passed by this little birria spot last time late at night, and the guy, I'm sorry, it's just like, dude, he didn't look like he had good hygiene.
Well, now that
I was like, fuck this, I'm not eating here.
Now that you're talking about this,
it was gross.
It was, I won't say early September, after a party. I don't know where we went, my wife and I. I think it was right here in Walgreens. But we ended up getting tacos.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm a big dude. The guy was a big dude, and he was there like cooking the meat or whatever, and it's hot. Dude is sweaty. I was like, Heidi, pretty sure some of that stuff is in there. Special sauce in there.
Oh,
the dude's sweating.
It's gross, bro. Yeah.
Because it was a warm night. I remember it was fucking hot. It was like early September. I remember. I was like, fuck, it's hot.
And he was in a truck, or he was just outside?
He was outside cooking it, and then he's out there fucking, and he was sweating balls. And I was like, holy shit, man. Dude, I sweat a lot and easy.
Right.
So imagine me.
You should not be behind. Yeah.
I should not be in the kitchen, dude.
Yeah, no.
Well, this guy, I guess.
Out in the street with no fucking sink to wash your hands or clean up or nothing. Yeah, no.
So I told Heidi, I go, I don't want to think about it. Let's just eat, because otherwise.
I love your facial expressions right now.
Just think about it. Just think about it. I'm pretty sure that you would have seen this guy. You'd have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nah, bro.
Because he's sweating balls, and I get it. I mean, the things are being cooked, and he's chopping it up or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what people get sick.
Right.
People that eat, and people are going to get mad because pork is people love pork. Pork is one of the worst meats to eat because fucking pigs eat their own feces.
Right.
And guess what? If you don't cook that meat right, your ass is going to get whatever that fucking pig has.
Right.
That's what they tell you, to cook your fucking meat right.
Well, pork for sure, right? I wouldn't agree with the statement that it's the worst meats to eat, but I definitely would agree that it's a meat that you have to cook right. Because
can't leave it raw.
Yeah, no, you can't leave. You have to eat that shit well done.
Yeah,
it has to be well done.
But people don't.
Yeah,
carnita is not well done. It's a little gooey. I guarantee you, it's not very cooked. I mean, it's
no, because that was cooked in a broth, so it's a little different.
But that's the thing. These things are coming out from like these people.
My problem with that is when they leave it out, or it's been the same shit that it's just kind of like medium heat and it's just been kind of sitting there, or it's from like the night before, or from early in the morning and you're eating it late at night and you don't know how long the fuck it's been there, and they're not really like heating it up back up right, and then cross that with the bad hygiene or maybe just like sanitary conditions and shit. That's where it gets a little tricky for me, man. And I used to really not care when I was younger
because we didn't know any of that.
Yeah. It was just like, fuck it. You know, I used to eat it and not care. But I got sick a couple of times. I got sick. Like, I think I got sick like 2 or 3 times from eating out in the street. One of them was from an actual place, like an actual restaurant. As I was telling my wife last time, I was like, you know what? I actually rather eat from the street and see the guy cooking my food, because I can see the guy that's cooking my food. And then secondly, I can see him see the actual food. Yeah. So based on those 2 factors, it's going to be like, wait, you know what? Does it make sense to eat here or not? And then you'll notice, dude, like the ingredients and everything, you know, like how the shit looks if it's, you know, sanitary to eat, dude. But it definitely now, I think I've got a little pickier, especially with, like, after you have kids and stuff, dude. Like, you can't be feeding that shit to your kids, taking a chance with the kids, you know? Like, they're going to get sick, bro. Like,
that's one of the worst things when the kids are sick, man. It sucks. Because you can't really help them when you have to go through it.
Yeah. No,
let me ask you this. Do you like your carne or your meat well done? Or do you like it medium rare and all that shit?
You're talking about beef? Steaks?
Yeah.
Medium rare.
Okay, the reason I ask you know that guy named Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Well, he likes his meat very rare with blood in it. Right, I don't know why. I don't like it like that. Some people say it's tastier and all that shit. Yeah. I like it well done. I like it. When we go eat steak, they're like, well done. They look at me like I'm crazy. Like, dude, you're fucking up this meat. Well, what happened to that guy? He got an intestinal virus. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you know.
No. I know who the guy is, but I don't.
So when he was with the UFC, he was out for almost 2 years, and even from the WWE, because he had an intestinal virus, because he contracted that eating raw meat, because he didn't cook it right. Right. And people get these infections all the time because it's in the blood. Right. If you get a fucking animal that's been contaminated, we don't know if it's been contaminated.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem. Well, here's the thing. Brock Lesnar is an American dude, right? Yeah. There's a lot of Americans eat a lot of fucking meat, bro.
And they eat it.
And they eat it 3 times a day, and they all eat it like that. And that shit, first of all, your body doesn't fucking process. Like, it takes a lot longer to process the meat than it does everything else, like, you know, like a plant-based diet. So, yeah, that shit's fucking hard on your intestines, bro. And obviously, you're more susceptible. It's the same thing with, like, seafood. Like, I like seafood. I love seafood. I have oysters. Oysters can give you fucking infection. Like, you can get sick from it. You can get fucking, like,
all the time,
like really like sick really bad. But people that eat it all the time, like the probability of that happening, it goes like exponentially higher, right?
Well, so same thing with sushi. It's raw.
Right.
It's raw.
So and I like sushi.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta go to a real good sushi bar. Otherwise, goddamn, you're done, homie.
Yeah. No, like, I've been to places where fuck, you know, I'm sorry, dude, like, I don't want to say this about my people or like the restaurants where I go to, but I don't know that my people are really used to eating like top quality
food.
Not top quality. I don't know if top quality is the what I'm trying to say, but like,
well, I think it's top notch,
like
food.
Top shelf.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it's
top
not that
shelf,
type,
bro. Like, fuck, I went to a Mexican restaurant today and it was packed with people. Yeah. But the meat, like the food, it was good. Like, listen, it wasn't by any means it wasn't bad. Yeah. But for the amount of people that were in there, like, fuck, I was expecting like top
Nice.
shelf.
Yeah.
I was expecting top shelf, bro.
Have you ever eaten those type of restaurants?
What
Like top notch restaurants that are like that, very expensive?
Not often, but yeah.
So you've eaten to those restaurants that are like $100 a plate,
Yeah.
like really good stuff, and I prefer to eat at a taco stand sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it depends on the taco stand, and I like taco stands.
Some taco stands are good, bro.
Like, I'm not gonna get a more authentic taco than I am, at one of these restaurants.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what, bro. Like, I was having this conversation with a barber last time because he was telling me how a haircut's a haircut. I was like, no, bro. A cheeseburger from McDonald's is not a cheeseburger from In-N-Out.
Mm.
Or a cheeseburger from In-N-Out is not a $20 cheeseburger from, like, fucking Eureka. Now, I wouldn't say that sometimes I'm craving a fucking McDonald's cheeseburger. Sometimes, that being said, when it comes to getting back to the whole Brock Lesnar thing, like, yeah, the dude sounds like he ate a lot of fucking meat, bro.
But that intestine, whatever he went through, it
Yeah.
took him about 2 years to get through.
Yeah.
Because it just wouldn't get out of his system.
Right.
Because he ate it and it was his.
And he was still eating meat and shit?
No, he couldn't. He couldn't eat anything. That's why one of the reasons he couldn't do WWE, he would wrestle or fight for about 2 years. That's how fucked up he was. He said he was in his deathbed.
Fuck.
That's how bad whatever virus he picked up from that meat because he didn't cook it right. And these are the things that can happen. Yeah. And remember, this guy's a world-class athlete or whatever and all that shit. And then it fucking took him almost 2 years to get out of that shit. And he talks about it really clear.
Yeah, plus, I mean, it's one thing. I don't eat my steak like rare. I do like it like medium rare or medium. So it's just like there's no blood.
When we go to Vegas, we always
blood.
end up at a steak place, steak and eggs and all that shit. And people go there because they love the steak and stuff. But I like it well done. And when I tell the people, hey, I want it well done, almost charcoaled, carne asada. That's why I tell everybody carne asada.
Right.
And people get pissed off at me. He's like, oh, man, I like it real soft and this and that. I go, dude, this is not carne asada.
Right.
Or even when we go to Vegas, I tell the people, like, you know how they come in and put like this thingy that says well done or whatever. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like this plastic thing and they put it on their meat.
Yeah.
So you go check it out.
Right. The temperature thing.
So they look at me like I'm crazy. I go, but I think that's one of the things that play in my mind. Like, I don't want to get sick from this shit, dude. I'm not very. And if you ever eaten a medium rare to a rare done or burger?
Well, that's the thing. Burgers, you're not supposed to. Burgers, it's different because it's the ground beef. And then burgers, it also depends on the quality of the beef. So, like, you're not supposed to eat ground beef not well done.
Well, I had an issue with In-N-Out the other day. I bit it and it was all red inside.
Right.
And I had to walk to the guy and like, look, dude, this shit's all red, man. I like, I'd prefer you cook this shit for me.
Right.
And he's like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. And then the manager came up to me and go, look at this shit, so fucking red in here. Come on, man. You got to cook this shit right, man.
Yeah.
And that shit was still bloody. I didn't cook it right.
Yeah,
whoever you're fucking cooking out before you get me sick, man. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then they give me the whole meal free. But by then I was kind of bothered already. I couldn't even eat it right because I was bothered. And when you're bothered, fuck, you can't eat right. Yeah. So I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because burgers, you're supposed to, the ground beef, you're supposed to like cook it well done.
Okay, well, let's fucking, let's wrap this up because talking about the coronavirus. So what do you think is going to happen, dude? 3 things.
3 things. We all die.
Coronavirus outbreak, virus, or zombie apocalypse.
That shit goes viral and we all die. Very unlikely. Number 2. What do you think? Number 2.
Number 2, everybody's gonna be fighting. I live in an apartment, dude. I guarantee you, I'm throwing fools off the railing here.
Okay. So number 2 gets quarantined, goes out, doesn't kill everybody. Everybody gets quarantined and kind of like it gets crazy. Okay. And then number 3, shit goes away in 6 months.
But that's just scary, man. People that first got it at that Princess, wherever that ship, I don't know what it's called, Princess Diary.
Yeah.
It's Princess something. I don't remember what it's called.
Right.
They're still there.
They're still on the boat?
Yeah, they won't let them off the damn boat because the majority of them are all sick. I don't know all 5,000 or 500 in there.
Are they still like on vacation or they're just docked?
No, they just docked right there.
They're feeding them and everything?
Yeah. Well, that's the first thing that happens. This is what's going to happen. Stage 1, people get sick. People get scared, paranoid. Stage 2, survival of the fittest, homie. And then, so it's going to be chaos, mass chaos. Better get the water. Better get the food. Better get the bread. All that shit. Better get the beer. Stack up on the beer.
Stack up all the beer.
No coronas. And
bro, what happens if like the power goes out and everything?
Oh, that's gonna happen.
Right.
Power grid gets off. Oh,
you have a generator?
No, I don't. I live in an apartment, but I should have one.
Yeah.
But that's what's gonna happen. They hear your generator. Guess who's coming to your door?
They gotta get the little portable electric one, or the little portable
The kind that you kind of have to.
propane ones and shit. They have like the new generation ones. They're like they're little and they don't make a lot of noise, bro.
Really?
They don't even throw out any fumes and shit.
Power based? How do you get your power?
No, they're little. They're little. I think they run off gas or diesel, but they're portable, dog. They're like tiny and they make very little noise.
I seen right here because I work next to a lot of the homeless, and they have these something like this, like the size of this mixer right here.
Mm-hmm.
But they're sun based, so you have to put them out there on throughout the day,
Right.
and then at night I think it gives you a power of 20 hours or something like that, and they're in there with just chilling.
Right.
Because then I've seen some other guys with some big ass generators. It fucking sounds like
Yeah, like there's a fucking moped or something.
all day. But yeah, that's gonna happen. So all that shit, you guys better get ready. And Dupree, I'm coming for you. Dupree, I'm cutting for your guns.
It's not gonna happen. Don't listen to this guy. He's playing at your fears. It's not gonna happen.
It's coming, guys. Watch CNN. Go on Twitter.
Don't watch CNN.
Hashtag coronavirus outbreak.
Oh,
it's
shit.
coming. It's coming. Be prepared.
Shit.
And
The Democratic, presidential candidates are going on right now. That's on CNN.
this is the world telling us that we're overpopulated, and it's the
Right.
immune system of Mother Earth. I heard that.
Well, that makes sense.
Supposedly that's where outbreaks come from, or pandemics and shit like that, the Black Plague and all that shit.
We're crowding too many fucking people together, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like we're overfishing, we're over fucking, feeding. Yeah, it's just like everyone gets crowded in these cities and these high-rise places and everything. Mind you, LA is like a city that's more spread out, dude. But fucking China, like if you look at some videos of China, dude, like it's fucking crazy, bro, the way they live out there. Like the apartment, like your apartment right here, there would be like 20 more people living in this fucking place.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. How could you not get something and give it to 20 other people in a matter of like 20 seconds?
So do you believe
It's crazy.
Do you believe that the world or Mother Earth is cleansing itself? Do you agree with that theory that I just said? Because we're overpopulated and we're fucking up this world because we are overpopulated?
That's about as close as I feel like it would get to the truth. I think the only other truth other than that would be like, government conspiracy based. So yeah, I don't know.
So I think the third part, you guys better get ready for close combat because you want to save them. You better get that Negan bat ready.
Fucking Gus.
I'm ready, bro. I have
close combat.
close combat,
Bro, when the shit hits the fan,
you're
gonna be over here like in your corner praying.
Well, you ever seen that?
We have a good view from over here.
Right?
You gotta
easy
get
take out.
Shit hits the fan. What would you do? Where would you go?
Fuck. Many people would be running up to like Big Bear, the closest mountains here.
You mean by the mountains?
Yeah, camping. I guarantee you, a lot of people would be running up to the mountains.
Yeah.
Or anywhere secluded.
Yeah.
Because this is where it's gonna go down in the big cities.
Right.
But the cities is where the craziest violence happens.
Right.
The majority, I don't know.
Well, because there's
So many people here.
Yeah, and the least amount of like natural resources, right?
Yeah.
Like where the fuck once the eggs run out at the supermarket, like where are you gonna get your food from?
Guarantee you, if you run to Costco, bro, you're throwing elbows. You're gonna be throwing elbows with the 55-year-old lady.
Yeah.
You'll be like,
but
get
that's
away.
but that's the first step, right? Imagine like months go by, you have your stack. You went to Costco, you got your stack, and that shit that you got at Costco, now you're out of, and you go back to Costco and there isn't shit. Now what?
Yeah. Now we're eating just like in the Walking Dead. We're gonna start eating.
That's where it's like, then what do you do?
Yeah, that's when you lose humanity. I think that's
right.
Mass pandemic, fucking.
Because now
craziness.
What are you gonna feed your kids?
Yeah.
Like every store that you go to, there's no fucking food. Like you need to move.
And we're gonna be eating rats and shit like that, and that's where it happens, man. Hopefully we don't get there because I want to live another 40 years. But yeah, the Corona outbreak, guys. On the lighter side, you could still drink a Corona and not get the virus. Josh, just you know how you do it.
I'm gonna have myself a Corona tonight.
Throw yourself a little bit of
and some
a limon, and it'll kill it, guys.
Right.
Some limon on top, and you're good.
And if that doesn't do it, take a shot. But
right? Yeah. Okay. We'll stop eating fucking drinking beer and just take a tequila shot instead. Tequila shots are good for when you have that cold. Maybe we should bring out a tequila bottle out there for those people that are having all them. You ever heard of if you drink some Corona? I mean, a shot of tequila, it'll make you feel better.
Right.
Have you
It
ever
kills
done that?
the infection.
Have you ever done that?
Nah. I've never actually. Well, not when I'm sick. No.
When you have that.
When my throat, if my throat's starting to hurt, I've done it. Yeah. Did it help? Not really.
I think the only thing that helps is because it knocks you out.
Right. It's like, dead.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it. Let's leave it there. You done?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is Gus with the Everything Goes podcast. Thanks, Josh, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Remember, guys, catch us on Instagram,
Stay healthy.
Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So we're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube. Leave a message, leave ratings, share, leave a comment for Dupree.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we just gotta walk around with masks for the next couple of years.
I have one of those, the filter ones. Sounding like Darth Vader. All right, guys. But that's it. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.